Today we'll learn about WPW syndrome. Actually, I have posted a video about the WPW syndrome, but that was in Bengali language. Some of you requested me to do in the English language. For this reason, I am repeating this lecture or whatever you say. Okay, so today we'll learn about WPW syndrome. It's a very important topic, not only in our day-to-day practice, but also for our exam. So, what is WPW syndrome? WPW syndrome is a syndrome of heart disease actually that was first described in 1930, but with by the three physicians. After the name of their physicians, it was called WPW syndrome. Actually, it is not a structural disease or anything like that. Basically, it is a electrical abnormality in the heart. Of course, there is some abnormal pathway that causes this electrical disturbance and make this disease. With this disease, usually people presented to us with some symptoms like palpitation, symptoms of SVT, or symptoms of subtypes, sometimes symptoms of ventricular tachycardia. And of course, in WPW syndrome, may patient have no any symptoms, just like a normal people, but paroxysmal, but sometimes people may develop a severe palpitation. So it's a very important topic, and we have to treat this condition as well very promptly. So in WPW syndrome, actually there is some abnormal pathway in the heart that causes abnormal electrical propagation that makes some palpitation or any other ventricular or supraventricular tachycardia. In this picture, you can see that there is a abnormal pathway. There may be some bundle in here. It is called the bundle of Kent. So in this bundle of Kent may be present in different position of the heart, like in this septum region, or in the right side, or maybe in the left side, or in the posterior surface, any surface it may be present. So this bundle of Kent may cause electrical disturbance because it has the property to transmit the impulses from atria to ventricle. Suppose uh, think that just the bundle of Kent is present here, and when normal electrical impulse passes through our heart, that is normal electrophysiology, in here normally the AC node generates impulse from here, and it goes the electrical impulse to the AV node from the internodal pathway, then from the AV node the bundle of Fish, and then Hinz-Purkinje system that propels the impulses throughout the ventricles. So it is the normal pathway. So what is the what if you think that the bundle of Kent is here, so what will happen? The bundle of Kent has the property to transmit the impulse very rapidly than the normal pathway. So when the impulse will go through this normal pathway, they will see that there is another pathway that is very fast. For this reason, some impulse will go from this bundle of Kent, then it will depolarize the ventricles. So suppose this some impulse is going through this bundle of Kent from here, and it will depolarize the ventricle. After going here, the normal pathway also will come, and some impulse will come through the normal pathway. As such, look at the ECG paper here. Like the deflection, positive deflection is the P wave, and you know that in P wave it represents the atrial depolarization, that means atrial contraction, and there is some gap between the atrial contraction and ventricular contraction. If I want to draw here, suppose in this picture you can see here there is a P wave, that means atrial contraction, and there is some gap or PR interval. Actually you can say PR segment here, or if you think that PR interval, that is beginning of the P and beginning of the QRS complex, or uh, end of the P wave and beginning of the QRS complex, that is PR segment. this PR segment, or whatever you call PR interval, all of this, it represents the time between the impulse going from atria to the ventricle. Okay, so this distance is represents the time that we need to transmit the impulse from atrium to ventricle. So in this picture of, or in this WPW syndrome, what happens actually? When impulse goes normally from the atrium, it causes the P wave, normal P wave. Then some impulse will go through the bundle of Kent, and that is very fast pathway. For this reason, this gap will be reduced. That means the time between the atrium contraction and the ventricular contraction, the difference will be reduced. For this reason, the PR interval will be very short, and the QRS complex will be begin. So in this picture, you see that when P wave is not conducted properly, or conducted more or less normally, then the PR interval is here, and there is a wave that is beginning here. This wave represents the impulse going from the bundle of Kent and depolarize the ventricle. So when it will depolarize the ventricle partially, then the normal pathway will come, and normal pathway, the impulse will come from this normal pathway, and it will cause normal QRS complex. So in this QRS complex, it has two waves. First wave for the bundle of Kent, and second wave for the normal QRS complex. So this first deflection or first wave, it is called delta wave. Okay, so delta wave will happen in WPW syndrome, and as well as the PR interval will be reduced, and this QRS, the complex QRS complex, will be very broad than the normal. As compared to this normal QRS complex, you see that this QRS complex is very wide because of the delta wave. So in summary, in WPW syndrome, there will be a delta wave, and PR interval will be very shortened or maybe absent, and QRS complex will be wide, and there is delta wave. So in ECG, what will happen? If you see in this ECG paper, so you will see that the PR interval, normal PR interval is reduced, and there is delta wave. See this delta wave, and you can see in the all leaves there is delta waves like here, or you can see here the PR interval is very short, and another deflection that is called delta wave. So another example is here. In this ECG, you can see that the clear picture here, that is the P wave, and PR interval is very shortened, and development of an extra wave, that is delta wave. This delta wave is called WPW syndrome. Okay, so you can see another picture here. This is the P wave, normal P wave, and PR interval is very shortened or absent, you can say, and development and another wave that is called delta wave, and then normal QRS complex. So this is called the delta wave, and this is called the WPW syndrome. So why this WPW syndrome is very important to treat? Because you know that in case of presentation of WPW syndrome, there presents the bundle of Kent, and that is very fast from the normal pathway. For this reason, if atrial fibrillation occurs here, then it will transmit very quickly from the atrium to the ventricle. And what will happen then? Then ventricular tachycardia or ventricular fibrillation may occur. For this reason, identification of this syndrome is very important. And in case of classification of WPW syndrome, we actually classify WPW syndrome about two types, like type A and type B. If the bundle of Kent present in the right side, then it is called type B, and if it is present in the left side, it is called type A. From the ECG, we can differentiate from type A and type B very easily. Like we will look in the V1. If the V1, the R wave in the upward position, then it is called type A, and if it is in the lower position or downward position, it is called type B. Okay, so in case of type A, the R wave will be in the upward position and type B will be in the downward position. So from ECG we can easily identify the type of the WPW syndrome. So what is the investigation of this WPW syndrome? And of course, at first we will do ECG and we will get a many information about the WPW syndrome, the possibility of it. Then we will do electrophysiological study of this patient to identify the bundle, the presence or not. If we found this bundle, then we will treat this patient. Symptomatically, you can give beta blocker this patient to prevent the very propagation of the impulse, and of course the definitive treatment would be radiofrequency ablation. If we can do radiofrequency ablation and destroy this bundle, then we will prevent this, we can prevent this syndrome, and we can prevent the ventricular tachycardia or supraventricular tachycardia. Okay, so radiofrequency ablation is needed for this patient and it will cure this patient. So I think you have learned or understand my lecture today, and hope you will enjoy this session. If it is beneficial for you, you can comment here and I will upload a lot of ECG portions or a lot of topics of the ECG in this group in English. Okay, so till then, stay well and pray for me. Thank you so much for your patience hearing.